When I first picked up a camera, the world looked as it never did before. And you know what it looked like? This. Psych. Terrible mirror selfies taken by 14-year-old me in 2004. Super cute, right? And so when I picked up a camera for the second time in high school, my photos were equally as terrible, if not worse, but somewhere in that mix. I took this photo of my cat Pepper looking out the window, and I thought to myself, the background is blurry, I am an artist. But I also thought to myself, hey, if I stuck with this long enough, maybe I could be kind of good at this someday. My story isn't necessarily uncommon. I picked up a camera, I took lots of photos, and some of them stood out. Some of that art, it just made sense. It was a happy accident, fueled solely by the idea that if I made enough photos, some of them had to be okay, right? And so over the next few years, my photography changed a lot. But what I couldn't see at the time is that photography was changing me. Because sitting here in front of you today, a camera has taken me to over 20 countries while photographing dancers and athletes, and for companies like Disney, and for nonprofits, and for weddings. I've photographed this 80-year-old in India, and I photographed this 18-year-old in Honduras. But another part of the past 10 years of my life has been teaching, counseling, and mentoring high schoolers as they first encounter the question, what, oh what will I do with my life? IDK, SOS, send help, please. Are you nervous? I am too. And I think it's at this very point that the phrase, find your passion, is shouted back at them from left and right and up and down, everywhere from their high school guidance counselors to their parents' very well-informed dinner guest at that dinner they made you attend, to quotes written in cursive over cliche stock photos of sunsets. Can I get a retweet? You know you've seen it. You know you have. And so I've come up with a metaphor that I think can help high schoolers navigate this time in their lives. Because to me, our passions are just like tools a carpenter puts into our hands. And no matter if we want to be a teacher or a scientist or a photographer or an athlete, we are all building piece by piece. And at first, we'll build small, just as a carpenter might build a chair. And soon, we'll start building bigger things. These will feel new. And while they'll feel foreign, they'll also feel strangely important because we will have seen our cares pay off in the results of our hard work. And then come the big builds. And then we'll start building bigger. And these things will be a little bit bigger than the things we first built. And we will see how they somehow fit together just like a table somehow fits perfectly with those chairs we built earlier. And then come the big builds. Passion in hand, we'll try combining many different things we care about, just as a carpenter would use their many skills to build a house. This will feel so significant, and we will stand back ever so proudly to look at what we've worked so hard to make. But blink, and you might miss the best part. That all this time we've been staring down at our hands and the tools in them, we will have missed our biggest build of all. That all this time we've been building a bridge, and that's a bridge to a whole new world, to a whole new self, to new points of view, of beliefs, and a brilliant new list of things we'll want to care about. Because here is the secret. Your passions don't matter. They really don't. It is okay not to know what you are passionate about. It is actually beautiful. Because our passions are just the tools in our hands. They are not our hands, and they will change over time. Our environments, our communities, our friends, our college majors, they all will too. But there's a hidden thread between it all, and that thread is caring. Caring leads to action. And because you cared, your hammer struck the nail in the first place. See, caring, not our passions, that's the real catalyst here. Caring is the foundation of courage, of persistence, of hope. Caring is the reason Alexander Hamilton first helped found our country, and why Emma Gonzalez stood for every single high schooler in America when her classmates were slain. But there's a part two to this secret. Equally as important as choosing to care is choosing what to care about. Because pick a care that's only for yourself, and that will never work. And girl, you will eat alone at that table you built for the rest of your life. But pick a care that's only for others, that leaves no room for self-love, no seat at that table for yourself. Well, you will never get to sit down at dinner and enjoy a bite of the fruit of your labor. But what happens when what we've built breaks? When what we've been so passionate about, when it fails us? On one trip to India a few years back, I had 3 days of photos sitting on a memory card that fell off a literal camel's back and into the desert, never to be seen again except for Aladdin on his little magic carpet someday. Super cute. But actually, it was devastating. And if I would have chosen to focus on the broken pieces, well, that gets me nowhere. But if I can choose to focus on why I shot those photos rather than what I've shot, I can see that failure, it's just a part of the process. And choosing not to care at all, to never go after anything we want in life, to let comparison and the fear that we're never going to be as good as that person we just watched on Instagram do that thing we love, well, that is straight up self-sabotage. It's the only way we can really let ourselves down here. Caring is the real life difference between a life filled with salty, from tears on our face happiness, versus a life wondering what it might have looked like if we would have ever shown up in the first place. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful thing is that caring lets you wonder what if. And that is magical. When you were a kid and you wondered what if, that question led you to touch hot stoves and say, ouchie, my hand is crispy like bacon. Probably shouldn't do that again, but it also led you to try trombone and every flavor of ice cream, and to try to swing even higher on the swing. How beautiful it all looked from up there, yeah? So beautiful. See, many people might view my care as photography. And it's true, I do care about the photographs I make, but I care far more about the moments I capture and the people and places that have opened my mind to new perspectives. Those cares, that feels limitless. Because yes, a camera does build my bridge piece by piece, but the world on the other side, that's why I'm in it at all. Now more than ever is the time for you to care. Not just for yourself, but for the world around you. The world needs you to care. And caring lets you be a rebel, but with a true cause. The best news is, caring doesn't matter whether you are good or bad at something. It is just happy you are here. So will you do me a favor? When time changes the tools in your hands, or when you are so lost, when you're too afraid to pick up a tool at all, will you remember our time here just a little bit? I just want to reach out into the audience and give each and every one of you a giant hug and tell you that as long as you show up and choose to care, that is all that matters. We'll build our bridges, and we'll build them together. See you on the other side.